Hey lads, I completed an article for Substack, published it late last night, and it's something you all should read. Of course, you should read everything that I write, particularly on Substack because it's mostly free, except for a couple things that are behind the paywall. But you can join, you can subscribe for free, and read just about everything for free. So what are you doing? Why aren't you doing that right now? Why don't you go to my Substack page and subscribe and start reading my articles? Oh, because you're watching me right now. Okay, well that's excusable. But just as soon as you stop watching me, you get on that, then that would be fine. AndyNowicki.substack.com. But the article that I wrote, I was thinking about it today, and I thought, you know what, people are going to say, if people have anything to say at all, because most often you spill your guts writing working really hard on getting something out there, and it gets no reaction from anybody. Nobody says anything about it, and that's a little disheartening. But that's the way it comes with the territory. But I thought to myself, if there were a reaction, I could imagine some people saying that my conclusion seems rather black-pilled in this article. And given that I rail against the black pill, people might either say, "Hey, you're coming around, Nowicki. You're finally seeing the light of the darkness. You're finally seeing the darkness." Instead of seeing the light of the black pill. But others might say, "Well, you damn hypocrite! What you rail against the black pill, and now here you are. You write this article that's really black pilled in its conclusions." Well, let me just give away the ending here, because I think you can read the article. You can still enjoy the article and know what my ultimate point is. The thing that intrigued me, and remember I said I was going to ignore the news unless there was something in a particular news story that I found intriguing, or that I thought I could maybe comment on in a way that offered a unique kind of insight that you weren't seeing elsewhere. And that was my thought about this story of Joe Biden deciding to run for re-election. And I thought to myself, if things were normal, if things were like they usually have been throughout most of the history of the United States, at least during my lifetime, then there's no way a weak candidate, a senile, doddering, hair-sniffing freak like Joe Biden, who's extremely unpopular and who's a joke and an embarrassment to everyone. He obviously doesn't know where he is. He's obviously, his mind is going, and that would be tragic. But for the fact that he's probably done a whole lot of awful things as a member of the American political elite. So I kind of temper the feelings of sadness that I have about him falling further and further into dementia by imagining the things that he's probably done up to this point. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So you got an old man, decrepit, can't speak, can't put a single sentence together. Has always been legendary for gaffes, but now it's just, he's an embarrassment. He's a complete embarrassment, and he's not popular. Most the polls show even most Democrats don't want him to run again. They don't think it's a good idea for him to run again, and independents definitely think he shouldn't run again. But they're still going to have him run again. Why? Well, my conclusion is, and again, this is, I'm skipping to the ending. I'm cutting to the chase. but read the article to get all of the delightful color and vibrancy of my gorgeous writing style. The reason is because he's the one who's been chosen or appointed by the people who are really in charge. And the people who are really in charge, let's face it, they're going to make sure that their person wins. They're going to pull out all the stops. This was never really a democracy, quote unquote, air quote there. This has never really been a democracy in the sense that the people ever really ruled, that the people ever really got their way. Or maybe it was a long, long time ago. I don't know. But now it definitely isn't. Every important decision that is made is not voted on. Nobody voted for mass immigration. It's happening. Nobody voted that we send a ton of billions and billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine. That's happening. Nobody voted that we shut down the world for 3 years. That happened. It's a joke. Calling it democracy is a joke. It's a smoke. The democracy is a smokescreen for the oligarchy. For the fact that we are ruled by a small number of people, and they're the ones who pull the strings. And the sham of that we are self-ruled, that the elected officials are the people, are answerable to the people somehow, that the people are the ones who vote them in or vote them out. That's becoming more and more of a just, that's an illusion that's impossible to sustain at this point. And they're pretending less and less about it. It's becoming more and more flagrant what the real situation is, and that's why things are really getting very very tense and very unpleasant these days, because they've lost their chill, because they've been found out. So in years past, you would have two candidates who would get nominated for president, and they would both have the support of certain factions of the elite. So it would just be the elites battling it out, and one would win over the other, but what they had in common was far more important than what they the ways in which they differed, the two candidates running for president. Now what you got is, instead, you've got somebody who the elites, the ones calling the shots, somebody who is their figurehead. He's there to do their command. And if things were normal, they would say, this guy sucks. This guy is a terrible candidate. Nobody likes him. He's old. He's decrepit. He does weird things. He touches kids. He sniffs women's hair. He says inappropriate stuff. He falls down. He just looks awful. The optics are awful. And the polls show that he's an extremely unpopular president. So why are we going to push him again? Well, because we know that we're going to make him win again, just like we made him win last time. That's my conclusion. Otherwise, they would run far away from this guy. They would put somebody else in there, because they would see that having him there was a really bad look for them. His record is terrible. Think back to Afghanistan and what happened there, and how just awful that whole thing looked. And anything there has been no triumphant moment for this administration. None. Nothing that people can point to and say, yeah, there you go, way to go, man. All right, Joe, show him, knock him dead, Joe. It just hasn't been the case. So from that we can surmise that the fact that he's still being pushed means that the elections are indeed a scam, and that fraud is afoot, and they're going to commit fraud in 2024, and not for the first time. That's all I'll say. I'll just imply it, since me saying it directly is apparently still a no-no in these parts. But you know what I mean. He'll win. It'll be by fraud, and it won't be the first time that he'll have won by fraud in 2024. So those are that's my prediction. Some say it's black pilled. Some could say it's black pilled. I'm not under any illusions about the political system. I'm not under any illusions about any of it. I think it all needs to go. I think it all needs to be burnt to the ground, metaphorically speaking. And until that happens, there's no salvaging it. So, read my article, tell me what you think, and thanks for watching.